is a test of the emergency broadcast system.
This is only a test.
DJs and MCs. This DJ, he gets down.
Listen to this jockey's introduction to
DJs and a mic with your host, DJ Mike.
Is that a timetable?
And DJ JP.
Well, get on it. It's your time.
Give me the mic.
Thank you, guys. Welcome to another edition of Two DJs and One Mic with myself, the soft-spoken one, and the infamous DJ JP.
Good evening.
We are blessed with, I would say, someone that has been DJing for a very long time and has been doing it on a grand scale. And that's none other than the great Bill Hermann.
Wow, you guys have been drinking already.
We don't drink. We just we respect greatness, sir.
Yes,
and you're one of the first to do it. So
yes, and I know you're a tad bit modest, but hey, we're giving just due.
That's okay. You've been around, like you said. I've been doing it a long time. I used to bang rocks together before there were records and turntables. People would dance.
okay, all right,
Oh,
you win.
man.
You win.
I've never heard that before in my
Bang
time.
rocks together.
It's got to have a beat, baby. That's all. It's got to have a beat.
Yes. Wow.
I've seen commercials about that or illustrations, but I've never thought about banging rocks together for music. But I've definitely seen that from a caveman movie or something.
Yeah. You got to be careful how you bang it, because if you kind of slide it, you might create a fire.
Man.
You wreck your thumbs.
Yes. Well, we want to thank you for coming on with us. It's always an honor to talk to you. Jeff had a flashback of our 2-hour interview.
Yeah, if he would have stopped talking, we could have got out of that really early.
Yes. When he
just couldn't get enough of me. I understand.
Oh,
No,
yes. He said he died about 8 times.
If that was the only thing he had to do to get out of it.
I'm ready for y'all tonight. I got a snack.
Well, you do have the off button.
Oh, yes.
I had the off button that day too, but
What happened?
y'all wouldn't go away.
That's true. That sounds like my wife.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on now. Hold on. It's early. But y'all, let's jump into the real reason. Well, first, let's thank our sponsors. First, we want to thank NLFX for everything they do for us. If you need some equipment, call Ben and the crew, Kyle, Kat, anybody up there. They can take care of you, answer any questions. Who else, Mike?
We want to thank James at Curator Live. Curator Live is the best software that you could ever use for your photo booths, 360s, and so forth. The customization is out of this world.
Yeah.
And we want to thank EV. We want to thank Ultimate Ears, S-Start, and all
CP.
of our other supporters that have made this possible. We want to thank you, thank you.
Yeah. All right. Now let's jump into this. So also our partners over the water at PV Europe. We're sad we're not going to be able to make it, but there's always next year. Yeah. But those guys run a magazine, and I got my magazine in the mail the other day, popped it open, and who picture did I see? None other than the great Bill Hermann. And with an article he wrote, "What makes a DJ a DJ?" And it just intrigued me. I immediately texted him and called him and said, "Mike, we have to get Bill on the show to talk about this."
Yes, I read the article, and I jumped for joy a couple of times. It was good.
Yeah,
It was a really good
touched
article.
on so many things he talks about all the time.
Yes, it was like, man, Bill read my memoir.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So many things in that article are things that Mike talk about. And we just have a couple questions we want to ask you about and discuss with you about it. And here's the first one. But before I do that, let me do this real quick. So if anybody's out there looking for a link to there's a link. It's ProMobile.org UK issue number 501, and the article is "What Makes a DJ a DJ." So we're gonna jump into these questions about the article. And
Bill, he's trying to get you in and out. You see it,
No.
No, he's just getting right to it. That's okay.
No, we got all the good stuff in. So what was your initial experience like when you first started DJing without any formal training? Did you ever feel overwhelmed by lack of knowledge or preparation, or were you one of those that are, prepared anyway and nobody really had to tell you that part?
Oh man. When I first started doing it, I thought I knew it all. I had a bunch of gear. I knew how to turn it on. I knew how to turn it up. I knew how the records, I knew how the record player played. The very first one, I only had one turntable. And it was attached to a very old piece of furniture that my parents had. It was a big record player console with a tuner in it. For tuning in AM and FM radio, and a big speaker that right in the front of it, and a turntable with the spindle on the top so you could put the records and stack them, right? And my dad let me come and DJ a holiday party, and I put I only records I really had was the record collection my mom and dad had. I had Helen Reddy's greatest hits, and I had I had Sonny and Cher's greatest hits. I had the soundtrack to Jesus Christ Superstar, Creedence Clearwater Revival's greatest hits, Goofy Greats, Madhavani, and a bunch of just records, right, that my parents had that I didn't have, but I had worked in the radio station kind of part-time, and I hauled this huge this tank of a turntable. It's not even a turntable. It was a console. It was about the size of a Volkswagen, heavy wise. Put it up on the stage and put my records on it, and then somebody showed me at the radio station how to take the headphones and kind of rewire it so you could use it as a microphone, so you could yell into the headphones, right? And I'd play a record. And then as soon as the record was over, I would get on and I would say, "Hi, this is Billy Hermann, and welcome to the Paul Oliver Memorial Holiday Party." And as I'm talking into my headphones, I would pull the record off and I'd put it over, and I'd take the other one, I'd put it on, and I'd push a little button where it would click, and and then the record would fall, and then the turntable arm would come over and come down and fall down. And I would just talk and talk and talk until the record would start. And I'd say things like, "It's the top of the hour and the weather outside is 27 degrees on a Friday."
Was that in the radio station or at your first?
No, this was at a party.
Oh boy, not the weather.
Oh yeah, all I knew was that. So I would just talk about what I thought DJs talked about. And then when I first got my first setup, when I had two turntables, I didn't do a whole lot different. I mean, I talked about different stuff, but I did kind of a radio show, and I thought I knew what I was doing. It was pretty much all about me and about what another guy that did parties. I watched him and I just copied him. Dusty Weatherford was the guy's name. He taught me, that you wear a t-shirt that has the radio station's logo on it. You wore jeans and you wore tennis shoes, and you set up, during dinner, because you're not going to start until 8:00 or until it got dark anyway. He taught me, that there was only one song to play for a father-daughter dance. He taught me that there was, that you played the song for the bride and groom, and if they weren't there, just, turn it up loud enough because they'll make their way up there. It just really wasn't about anybody except for whether or not I had the music and I turned it up loud. And that you also get to drink for free, you get to eat for free, and if you're cool enough, then you meet a lot of girls, which all three of those things pretty attractive to me.
Yeah, at the time.
Yeah.
What year was this, Bill?
1907.
Hey, it feels like as you're saying this, I feel like I'm witnessing the Great Depression.
I think the first thing I did was around 1978. And then the first time I was doing any kind of parties outside of being at home was 82, 83, because I had moved to the Twin Cities and I met a buddy who's an old friend of mine, still is, has a DJ company here. And I got a job at a roller rink where he was at, and he brought me along, and I started doing parties with him. So then, but he was another guy, just, what he did, I did. What he said, I said. What he played, I played. And when I started collecting gear and records, what he had, I got. So how tough was it, right? I mean, I'm an actor. So you play a part when you're an actor, and you study a role, and I studied the role of DJ, and I learned the lines, and I learned the routine, and the whole show I did really well. I did somebody else's show. But then when I saw other DJs, I realized that more than likely looked like the guy who trained me was the guy who trained everybody.
Yeah.
Because they were all doing the same thing I was.
And nobody was uniquely different.
No. I mean, not at all. I thought I was doing it better because I don't know, because I was cooler, I guess. I was an actor. So I had this part down, and these guys looked like they were making it up as they went along. But that was all, right? I was still doing what they were doing. Yeah. But I didn't really make that. All I saw was, oh, yeah, I'm doing it right. Because they're doing it, I'm doing it. We're all doing it right. That's all I saw. So that's that kind of the way I kept going.
All right.
Okay, so you mentioned that the public often has a screwed perception of what a DJ is. What do you think the biggest misconception is about the DJ industry today?
Well, it really depends, I think, on your point of view, right? The DJ's point of view is everything is misconstrued about who we are and what we do. And we can go with that and be mad at the public perception, but the public perception of us isn't great. I mean, how many times have you said to somebody said to you, what do you do for a living? And you said a DJ, and they went, oh. Yeah. Well, yeah, but what do you do for a living? What do you do for real?
Yeah.
I mean, my old man, I told him I wanted to do for a living. He wanted me to go to school. I had no way in the world I wanted to go to school. I had worked in radio a little bit when I was in high school. I didn't really know much even then. And to get him off my back, I said, I'm moving to Minneapolis. I'll go to radio school. And that was easy because they taught me in radio school and in trade school what I already learned when I was doing it for 2 years. So the perception of who we are, I think, comes from the fact that most people who do this they get into it the same way I did. They saw somebody, they went, I can do that. And then they copy it and then they do it. So when somebody sits across from me and says, I just don't want a DJ who sits behind a laptop at a table with headphones on and never looks up and plays his favorite music really, really loud and doesn't take requests and doesn't say anything. And when he does, he just screams. Okay, I've heard over the years and years I've been hearing this, I've heard a version of that almost every single time I've talked with a client, because that's what most people see. And most people don't think much of what we do except for it looks cool. But to put them, so most of the people think that they have to buy a guy that they don't think much of, and they got to spend a certain amount of money on that, and all they want to do is only pay an average, and they just want to find the one that looks the nicest, I guess.
Can I ask a question? So, What do you think we can do to change the perception of what a DJ is? Is there anything we can do in mass or things we can do to change the perception?
Well, the first thing we need to do, from my perspective, is we need to see that we need to see that. We need to be able to know that exists. When we talk amongst ourselves on message boards and on Facebook and on Instagram and even at at conferences, we talk to each other, right? We see our own perception of what we do, and we all love what we do, and we all think we're cool, and we all look at the gear we have and the mixes we do and the things that we say, and we all, I just want to be a better version of that, or I want to be cool, and I want to look cool within those people's eyes. But the sad part is that we're not hiring each other; our clients are. For us to begin to change that, we need to look outside of what we think is good or bad. We need to really understand and believe what the public thinks of us. And the public doesn't think very much of us. First of all, they don't really see us as a profession. They see us as a part-time gig. I went to a even DJs think this, and I know this to be true because I talk to guys all the time. Even yesterday, I was at a National Speakers Association meeting, and there was a guy there who was in mental health, and he had spoken to mental health groups, and he says, "Oh, and by the way, my part-time, afternoon, fun time gig is a wedding DJ." Wow. And he said it as if. And it's just a thing. It's a part-time. I don't really care. I just have fun. Well, yeah, it's a fun job. It's supposed to be. It's not a fun job. I don't want to do it, right? But if we start taking what we do seriously, and we have to, then hopefully people will start to see us differently. But it has to happen en masse, right? Somebody's got to look. Every time I bring up this to another DJ or a group full of DJs, they take it personally. They're like, "Well, I'm not like that." I'm like, "I didn't say you were like that. I said that's the way people see us.
Yeah,
they see us as a joke.
It only takes one that makes us all into a joke too,
right? And it's not just one. That's the problem. Because one was the joke, and that's the guy people have been copying for 60 years.
Wow.
So there are a few that are standing up, but even that argument, if I look at somebody and says, "Yeah, no, I know, I'm a DJ, but I'm really not that kind of a DJ," well, that just makes it sound worse.
Wow.
For DJs, right? I believe that this industry could be a great industry, but it starts with everybody understanding how people see us, and then we need to come together as a group. But that's going to take time and trust and leadership. And all those things start with money and organization, and that's they've been trying to do that for a long time. I'm not saying it's not possible, but there's a process that we'd have to go through that I don't know that people are willing to go through.
Absolutely.
20 years ago, we tried to do that, and a lot of people put their own money into it in their own time, and I was one of those people. We worked for years and years and years, and over the last 5 years, a lot of those people just kind of fallen off, going, "Well, I guess people don't really want this. DJs don't really want this." And I don't believe that to be true yet.
So many people don't want to be regulated. It's tough.
Well, regulation is not even something we can do yet because we're not even together on whether or not we want to be together.
I'm not saying regulate. I'm just saying call for them to be
some form of
standardization. I mean, or meeting certain criteria to say or hold a title. Like that's the one where you can put on your name and say I'm a DJ, and nobody can check your credentials, or you don't have to do anything to get credentials. We don't have any part. Well, we do have stuff, but we don't look at it as CEs where you got to get continuing education to be better. It's an option. You can be horrible and say you can put that word on your name at any time, but we can put regulation on it anytime we want. But the truth is that because it's not like a law, it isn't something that you get if you don't follow these rules. Some stuff bad doesn't happen to you, right? My wife is a hairdresser. She's all kinds of regulations, and twice a year she's got to get a continuing education. She needs to prove that. She needs to get a license. She's got to go through a test every year to cut hair. Okay, and we don't have that. Why? Because we haven't come together to say it's necessary. Yeah. And for us to do that right now, you got to have everybody step up and say they do it. And like you said, my child, who is, well, she's 21 now, but at any given time, any kid who's 10 years old can get a business card and say they're a DJ and get hired to do a wedding.
and they're a DJ. They absolutely are a DJ, and until they do their first wedding or their first party, and the really sad part is that they are still a DJ. They're just a bad DJ, and there are way more people that say they've seen a bad DJ, way more than they said they've seen a good DJ. And I know this because I sat in front of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people over the years, and I'd say, "Tell me about a great DJ you've seen." They can't do it. Wow. Well, what do you want to see? Well, I don't want to see a bad DJ. Well, how many have you seen? Oh, I've seen nothing but bad DJs. Oh my God, that can't be true.
Wow.
And you know the amazing thing with that, you're so right, Bill, because just the fact of how people respond when they see a good DJ, they treat us like unicorns.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
They do. And it's like, you know, and they just tell you how good it was. And it's like, man, what is
everybody else doing?
Victimized by? What have you seen? So
right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, well, moving on. Go ahead.
Well, and another thing too is they treat us like unicorns. But again, we got to talk about that. It's the client that sees us as unicorns. DJs see that and they go, "I could do that. I've done that."
Or anybody.
Anybody can do that. He's nothing special. I got that.
Just on this show alone, we've heard several people who got into this business by saying, "I can do what somebody else did." Yeah. And some of them are really good. But it's how you take it. If you don't,
yeah, no, but I'm just saying it started.
If you don't
like
do better
that.
than what you saw, well, I just want to do what he did, then that's where the problem comes in.
Well, it's an evolution. But go ahead with your next question. Yeah.
Can you walk us through a moment you realized that copying other DJs wasn't enough, and what was the turning point in you wanting to evolve into, be a better DJ, be an artist, or be an example for the craft?
Well, I've always known I was an artist as an actor and a performer. Always knew that. But I never saw the difference. I didn't see that DJing and that was the same, right? And for me, and I think for a lot of guys, at least guys that have trained with me or they've come looking for me at some point, the evolution is somewhere around the idea that you begin to be responsible in your life for someone or something other than yourself. And for me, around the age of 30, I met someone who I was in love with, and I got married. And I went from being a single guy who only made enough money to be able to make it with just enough money to make it to the end of the month to pay my bills every day of my life until I was almost 30 years old, to going, I'm going to share my life with this person. I need to take what I do seriously. And I had a choice at that point because I was also my real gig, which I always hated. I didn't want, right? But my real job, the thing that paid me money, was the restaurant business. I was really good in the restaurant business. I was getting paid a lot of money by the Gatlin brothers at the time to run a country western bar that had national acts, and they paid me about $250,000 a year to run this place.
Wow.
And I was so unhappy. And here I am looking at my life. Do I want to share my life with somebody and do a job that I hate? Or do I want to run after what I'm passionate about, which is to be a performer? And yeah, I'm DJing. I guess I am being a performer. But then I looked at what I could make, and I was only making about, at the most, $500. I think most of my contracts were like $350. And there's got to be a way to make this different. And about that time, I went to the first conference I'd ever heard of, DJ conference. It was a lot of people, I'm sure you've heard of, what back in the day was one called Mobile Beat, with Mobile Beat magazine. It was at the Tropicana Hotel. The only thing I knew about going to conferences is my old man, who was in medicine, used to schedule our vacation to run a conference so he could write things off and we would save money. So he took us around. He said, I'll just go in there and sign my name, get up my badge, and that way I can write this off. I'm like, that's a great idea, right? So I went to this conference, and for the first time, I saw a bunch of other DJs all talking to each other, all sharing ideas. They weren't really talking about anything that I hadn't heard, because again, I think there's a guy who's been going around talking about the same thing to everybody. And then I sat in some seminars because I thought maybe I better. And then I heard my friend Mark Farrell speak. At the time, I'd never heard of him. And I was in the center of a room sitting next to people that I never knew. By the end of it, looking at him like, can you believe, did you know, did you hear, oh my God. I went up and shook his hand. He said I could make $1,200 or more DJing because he had done it. He wasn't talking about anything more than I didn't already know. I shook his hand. He didn't remember me. And I went, well, if I'm going to do that, what do I got to do? Who do I got to be? I'm just I'm in the same show. I'm doing the DJ show. Everybody does the DJ show, and everybody's charging the same amount of money for the DJ show. How am I going to be different if I'm doing the DJ show? So I sat down with that number. Actually, I put the number $2,000 down, and on a piece of paper, I started writing out what I would expect from this $2,000 DJ. And then I said, well, what would I do if I was just being paid to tell jokes in front of these people? And how would I do that? And how would that matter? And can I bring these two together? And then I started taking apart what I thought DJ was and rethinking it. What each moment, every song I played, every transition, every time I mixed, did it matter to the audience? And if so, why? And if I did a Broadway show using the ideas of theatrics, which I'd been studying since I'm 5, and now DJ, which from my perspective at the point was playing the right songs in the right order to get people to stay and dance and blah, 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 right? And when I started to see that, I started to realize that these two things are not that different. The idea of understanding how a room looks and feels, how it's staged, how it's written, how the story in the room is happening all the time, how there's a story happening that if you don't take control of it, you'll just have to find out how it's going and hopefully stick yourself to it, or you write the story, you bring people along as opposed to kind of jump on their story. And as I started to do that, I noticed that I could have an impact every time I opened the mic. How about a profound impact? It would be cheering or laughter or thoughtfulness. All of a sudden now the things I'm doing in a room are having an impact before I'm even playing my first song, before I'm even them to dance. Realizing now that I think I have something here that can be artfully created, storytelling, like a movie, like a television show, like a book, like a sketch comedy piece that I had complete control. I had more. It's still amazing. Are amazed when I tell him this, but the guy who takes the microphone, he's got more power in the room than anybody. He can stop the party, make them leave angrily, spit out the food on the ground, yell at the cook on the way, and punch the bride on the way out. I have the power to do that. And if I've got the power to do that, I have the power to make them feel things they were not expecting to feel. Now, if I have that power, if
oh my gosh, Bill, we may have to have you sign back out and sign back in because you kind of freezing for a little bit. It's kind of jumping up on us, and I think you froze there for a minute. Are you back? Let's see. Maybe it was because you were so passionate. It got hot over there. You good? You back? Let's see.
I'm getting all sweaty. Where was I, and where should I stop? I think this is the way Jay wants to get me to be quiet this time.
No. It's because maybe it's, I don't know if you got a bad, but no, you were passionate. I love that about punching them, spitting out the food and all that, because you're in control. And a lot of us don't command and control the room. We let the room control us and pray that they listen to what we say.
Well, that's because they don't believe they have that. That's all that is. If you don't believe that you're in control, then why wouldn't you just look for your spot to jump in? Oh, it's time for me to talk now. No. You tell everybody else when to talk. You tell everybody else when to dance. You tell everybody else when to eat. You are shaping the story that they are experiencing. You can do that way. Most people just show up with their music, play it, and then they wait for their moment until they're told, okay, we're done eating now. You can start playing and DJing. Oh, okay. Well, that's the way I took it. It is. Until I realized that if I was shaping how they were feeling, I had to begin shaping that early. so that when I said it was time to dance, they would do it. Instead of, I'm going to start playing music and hopefully it's going to get dark and hopefully they're going to get drunk and hopefully I'm going to hit that one song that makes two people come out, which is the way we taught to do it. Really?
Yeah. Well, really, but
nothing wrong with it. It just doesn't have that much impact.
You hope for a different result and don't do it like that. But all right.
No, I'm just saying you are correct, Bill. I cannot argue anything in regards to what you just said. That is so correct. We sit there like little meek sheep and wait instead of taking control of the situation, not realizing that we're not in the passenger seat or in the back seat. We're driving the car.
Yeah, we're driving.
But you're not driving the car unless you decide to.
Yeah, right? You're right. Well,
and when I sat down and I wrote $2,000, I went, would I spend $2,000 on a guy who's just waiting to see how it works out, or would I pay $2,000 for a guy that I know for a fact will make my party amazing? He will take control and do the job, and I paid him to do it. Or am I waiting for him to maybe jump in at the right time when the crowd might like him, which is the way we were. Trust me, that's the way I used to do it. It takes a lot of nerve the first time you do it to look in the room and say, there's no such thing as a bad crowd. I'm going to create a good crowd. I'm going to build a good crowd. And they're going to be excited about me when I start. They're going to be excited the most moment I speak.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
So in saying that, Bill, you just segued right into the next question for me. So from your own journey, how crucial do you believe formal training or mentorship is for DJs or aspiring DJs? And can a DJ truly succeed without it?
Can a DJ truly succeed without? I believe that, yeah. I mean, I did. But then I had formal training. I didn't have formal training. Let's put that back. I had been training as an actor and a performer all of my life. So every director was my trainer and my mentor. Every acting coach, every vocal coach, they were actors and trainers and mentors. The person who taught me to writing and directing and theatrical lighting. But can you learn? Can you be a DJ and be successful without that stuff? Yeah. Because it seems kind of self-serving for me to say you can't do it without. Now, I do believe that if you want what I'm talking about, you need to take on what I'm talking about from a different point of view. And if you want to actually evolve beyond where you are, then finding training and mentorship to be able to see what you're doing from a brand new point of view is important. It's very important. I created my point of view, but then I had to now take that and go and look at my point of view through other people's points of view. Every time I've ever evolved as a performer, I saw what I was doing and somebody showed me, well, this is what you're doing, but this is how I see it. I'm doing the same thing, but I see it from this point of view. So when I started to teach training, I realized that I had to be able to look at everybody from where they were and then show them their job from a different point of view so they could see that there's an evolution. Because most people, the DJing is a thing, right? Here's a box, and in the box goes what DJ is until the box walls are filled. And we all believe, and we know, until you look at anything a different point of view, we know what that box is. We could all define it. That's why there's a conference. We can all talk about it. There's walls and there's a ceiling, and we can all stuff into that. But once you got everything in there, how would you got nothing, right? Well, looking at something from a different point of view drops the walls of the box away so that you can see that there are no walls. So that you can see that anything is possible now. Anything possible means you have now the courage to step out of the box and try something else, knowing that I know, look, the basics I got. I know how music works and the turntables and the microphone, and I know that works. But if I got better on the microphone, how much better would this be? Be a lot better. If I got better as a storyteller, if I got better at staging a room before something happened in a way that everyone was experiencing it all together, would that be better? Yeah, I could do what I do now, but they all get to see it. They all hear everything I say when I speak. I say something at the right time so that everyone in the room goes, oh, or they all laugh at the same time.
Yeah.
What I'm creating, when I'm teaching, and what I create for my clients is millions of shared experiences, not shared if maybe you are paying attention. I guarantee that when we start the first dance, everyone from 50 people at a wedding to 5,000 people at a wedding are all leaned in and experiencing that 3.5 minutes at the same time. If I can do that once, I am something they've never seen before. If I can do that all evening long, you're no longer, they no longer look at you and go, well, he's a DJ. I mean, I guess that's what he's doing, but he's not really a DJ. People don't describe me in those words. And that's when I started to realize that they don't think much of DJs, because I never thought I'm still doing music. I'm still mixing songs. I'm still announcing first dances, and I'm still, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the party. And throw your hands in the air like you don't care. I'm doing all that stuff. What I think the difference is I'm doing it, and everyone experiences it together, not just a few people. We don't hope that mom's going to cry at the first dance. I know. I don't hope that the guy in the room who knows the bride and groom the least will be touched by what's happening. I know for a fact he will. Wow. Because there's a structure in the world of theater that I'm bringing to the table. Now, in that mentorship, that's what I try to teach people. In formal training from people like myself and my friend Mark, we come from a background of performance, of theater, of acting, which is beyond the pushing the buttons of the song, where you begin to have an impact. Can you succeed with that? Yeah, in a way that you wouldn't understand. Can you succeed in the perception of what people think DJs are? Yeah, because people think DJs are this. And if you show up the way they think you are, then they're going to buy you. Yeah. This is not going to pay a lot of money. Yeah. And I couldn't make a lot of money doing that. So I had to start looking in a different way.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. What advice would you give someone who feels like they're just going through the motions as a DJ, focusing on, copying, not really coming up with anything original? Okay, if I just do this, like they almost got a script and they just follow that script every night, never adding any emotion, never inflection, nothing, just reading a script. So what do you think about that?
Well, I don't know that that's a bad thing. The question I want to know is what they want? Is that enough for them? Right. I believe it should be that people should want more than that. And mostly people that are doing it for grins and giggles and beer money, they don't have the time to get real good at anything. As long as they're getting paid, what's the big deal? Right. Which I understand. If I'm making $250,000 a year doing something else, how good do I have to be being a DJ? But if I got to make my living at it, that's a different thing. Now, if they come to me because they want to do something, they don't like where they are, they want to do something more than just go through the motions, well, then I would ask them to start. Well, wow. First of all, I would try to find some kind of training. And as much as I'd like them to take mine or my friend Mark's, go find an acting coach. Hey, look, I'm in Minneapolis and they're in London. It's like there's got to be somebody who teaches acting where you are. There's got to be some place where you can get on the stage. What about a vocal coach? Well, the vocal coach I went to wanted to teach me to sing. That's a good idea, to learn to sing. Well, I can't sing a note. Doesn't matter if you can sing a note. You want to learn how to speak clearly. You want to have tone and resonance and sound professional. That person's going to teach you how to use your voice. Actually use every bit of the instrument from your trachea down to your diaphragm, to your lungs, to every bit of your voice and all the resonant chambers inside of your face, to be able to do your job in a way that is more clear, concise, and professional sounding. That all by itself. Somebody wants to sound better, go find a vocal coach. He doesn't teach you to speak, teach you to sing. Shut up and listen. Take a dance class, take an improv class. Performance classes are going to teach you the thing that is going to put you outside of what you do, is the instrument of what's in your skin. Your body is an instrument that you can only train going to the gym. And if you've never done it, then you don't know that, all you can do in a gym is do push-ups and pull-ups and weights and stuff. Okay, it'll make your body look great. Now, can you walk through a room with grace and style and look like a pro? Do you know how to stand in a way that just standing in a room commands the room? Do you know how to do that? If you don't, talk to a teacher, talk to performance teachers. Now, if you think that you need to start with someone like me, great, come with me. And I'll show you how those two things blend. But I'll tell you, after 2 days with teachers, with me, I say, now you're not done. I just pointed out a bunch of stuff. Now go find yourself a vocal coach. Go find yourself a movement coach. Go get into the community theater. Start studying this and this and this. Study it. The best advice I ever got from any director, any acting coach was after I got all done. He said, now you want to get better? Yeah. He says, okay, so if you're not taking a class, kid, you better be in a show. And if you're not in a show, you better be taking a class, because your instrument is only as good as you work it out. And if you aren't working out every day, then you will not be ready when the big thing shows up. And if you try to do one thing a year and then 2 weeks before you step up and you start to do some vocal training, you're going to sound like an amateur. So always be working on your craft. Always be working on your instrument. You have to. And you don't need me to do that. I'm in the business of hoping that you will, but I'm also still a performer. So, I mean, I'm going to London. I can't believe you're not coming to London, man. You guys are coming to London.
Oh, we know. Don't rub it in, Bill.
No, I'm rubbing it in. You said you were going.
Yeah, we were, but something happened. Yeah.
Wait, did the something be the wife that happened?
No. It's a bunch of other reasons. It'll come out soon, but we really just kind of waited too late to get everything together. And it
well, I hope you're okay. I hope everything's okay.
Yeah,
I was looking forward to seeing you guys.
We'll be fine. But another question: as an actor, you've learned from coaches and directions to refine your craft. How has that theatrical or theatrical? Now I said it for Mike. Now I can't say it now after we were reading through it earlier. Theatrical training impacted your approach to DJing and connect with the live audience?
Well, it's like I just said. When I started to look at whether I was a DJ or an actor on a stage as an actor, I could say the right word at the right time and the whole room gasps at the same time. As a DJ, if I play Elton John, hopefully you like it, right? So bringing those two things together for me was important, because I was tired of hoping you would like the music I played. I wanted to be sure that when I took control of the room, you were happy about it. So using that training impacts my approach unbelievably, because now the music that I play almost becomes secondary. I mean, I know how to do it. I know what needs to be played. I know how DJing affects a room. But if I gave you a room excited about dancing and you were the DJ, that's all you did was the DJ, but I spent the first 2 hours of the event warming the room up and using my training to create a feeling and, in fact, what I call an agreement between me and the room, that when I say go, they stand up and dance. And you hit the first song and you get a full dance floor, as opposed to kind of hoping to maybe catch fire somewhere in the first hour. That would be valuable to you, wouldn't it? Well, when I started doing this, it really was, I hated the fact I had to work for an hour and a half to get the room really what I wanted to be. I knew that if I could start early, I could get to a place when I said dance, they all would. So it was all about me wanting more dancers. But then it became, I understand now that this effect that I'm having in a room full of people brings them to a room in a way that they weren't expecting to come. People come to weddings, especially weddings, the same exact way. I'm going to come and, it's Mary, and I like Mary and all, but, hopefully we got free drinks and that the chicken dinner isn't boring and I don't have to sit with those people. I hate sitting at that table. And, okay, the DJ, look, it's a DJ. Oh, geez, I hate DJs. All right, well, that's, our favorite bar's open. I already hugged the bride. Let's just get our free drinks and go. And then hopefully somewhere along the line, somebody will do something. That one guy that got invited, the one who gets drunk enough right about the right time that we all go, yeah, and then and then we bug the DJ to play the 4 songs we love in every college party, and then we leave. They're in control at that point. They are in control of how things are going to go. If you can lead them, then when the dance starts, they want to be led. And that theatrical training is really what a storyteller does. Understanding that every story has a beginning and a middle and an end. Every great event has a beginning and a middle and an end. And within that event, there's little things that happen that are stories. Like as the cocktail hour has a beginning and a middle and an end, the dinner has a beginning and a middle and an end. The speeches have a beginning and a middle and an end 3 and 4 times, depending on who's speaking. So you have to take people on that journey because people see the world in stories anyway. They don't even know that. But if you know that, then every time you present to them, it starts at the beginning and has an interesting thing and has an ending. And there's a transition that affects the first thing that happened to the next thing that happened. Like the best man speaking to the maid of honor has a transition. And if you transition well, then the story goes into the next chapter and people will follow you. A great show. Look, if there's not if a bad show that doesn't have these things on a Netflix show, you will turn off.
Yep, click out.
Great show. You will binge every damn episode and you wonder how you did it.
Yeah.
This is what I'm talking about. And it can be effectively worked into, it effectively is part of our job if we take on that we understand that and we can lead that.
Let me ask you this, Bill.
Yeah.
Because I know that you primarily do weddings.
Yes.
Does this same method work with corporate events, school events, and private parties?
Yeah. A room full of people is a room full of an audience is an audience is an audience. Okay. A wedding, we understand weddings because there's a format to weddings, but there's also a format to a school dance. You want to stick to the format, that's okay, but you can also create the stories within the stories and the transitions within the thing. You can. You want to do that with corporate? Yeah, the corporate clients that I have, they love me. Now, selling that to corporate is sometimes a difficult thing because corporate wants to buy an act. You really want to make a lot of money? Don't be a DJ in corporate. Create an act, a 45-minute act. Those guys are making $5,000, $10,000 in 45 minutes. They're there.
Yeah.
Well, if you can take what you do and create it into an act, because the act again has a beginning and a middle and an end and a story, and it has transitions and creates people's attention for 45 minutes. Those people are getting $5,000 to $10,000, $15,000 while you're setting up gear and playing tunes to a bunch of people that are afraid to dance in front of their boss. We're thinking about it wrong. That's all. I mean, not wrong, but this is a different way. I think this is the more successful way. We're selling equipment. Okay. I know a lot of guys making a lot of money setting up great events and selling sound, video walls, lighting, video, just the gear. I mean, they're going in there $10,000, $20,000, $50,000 events, and they haven't put in anybody except for the guy who runs the gear into it yet. A lot of money in that.
Yeah.
Now, you want to be a performer? Different.
Bill, you there? You went into oblivion again.
Guys, this is a really great topic. Go ahead, Bill.
I am. All right. I'm not sure where I was.
Yeah, you're back.
Yeah, we're trying to keep you out of the matrix.
Yeah, you matrix. I mean, I think you're just burning up the internet here, so that's what's happening. But
yeah,
man,
whatever.
That thing in the 80s, Max.
Maximilian.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Max Headroom.
That's all great stuff, and people, I guess they just. I mean, we don't think about it or look at it, but we all should be trying to find a way to separate ourselves, not be like Jim Bob, not be like Smitty, just be different and uniquely different. So when people come to you, you can copy out somebody, but add your own spin to it, make it different, make it unique. So, hey, I want him because he's uniquely different. He does the same thing. And like you said, you're in a box just playing records. All you're going to do is just play records or play music and make those basic, simple announcements, no emotion, no heartfelt. Because, I mean, Bill, the first time I heard you speak, you almost brought me to tears. With the story about the guy singing his wedding song for his wife, and you got him to the studio and made him record their first dance, and he actually sung their first dance. Oh, my gosh, that was so deep, man. And I've been a Bill Hermann fan since that day. So, yeah, just stuff like that. But that's a love story, and that's all the things I'm sure that you teach at your classes are different.
Oh, I mean, the idea of that song is a technical theater that using those techniques, I helped to make that little piece of 3.5 minute song something amazing, which it was amazing. Thank you. And I thought it was too. But that by itself was okay. It was how it was presented to the room, very much like I presented it to all of you when you heard it. is the way I had to present it to a room full of people at a wedding, so that at the moment that we push play, everyone was right there, right?
Oh, yeah,
And
it was.
and they heard his voice, they stopped and gasped. This.
Uh-oh. He's blowing up the internet again.
Guys, when you're faced with great information,
Yes. The devil,
sometimes
the devil is busy.
It just happens, you know.
Yeah.
And you guys may not notice, Bill is a part-time robot. And he glitches every so often.
So, but let's ask this question real quick. Looking back at your journey, what advice would you give a young DJ who are just starting out and believe that no formal training is necessary? How can they avoid just being another DJ?
Well, first they got to stop thinking that they are. Part of the problem is the reason everybody charges the same thing is they don't think they're any much different than the next guy, even though if we're all together in a room, all the other DJs are saying, well, yeah, well, you do that, but I do this, so I'm better than that. Well, we all talk about how we're different to each other, but when we all charge the same money, and it's not very...
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I hate this. This is
horrible. Give Bill a moment.
Come on, glitch out, baby. Glitch out.
That's okay. So first thing is you gotta see yourself as different. And when most people don't, because that's not what they don't sell, that they're different. They might say that they are. I'm better than that guy. I'm different than this guy because I tell this joke, or when I do the shoe game, it's at 4:00 and not at 5:00, or whatever that is. But the same guy, I'll say, well, what do you charge? Well, how much? Are you better? I'm way better than everybody else, and I'm way different. Okay, well, everybody's charging $500. Why are you charging only $550? Well, you must, according to the client, you're not. You don't think you're any different either.
Yeah.
So, really believe you're different. Then what is it that you're different by? And then they give.
Oh boy.
Every DJ in the continent can do exactly that. Every one of them. What is the one thing you're bringing that's different? And when it comes to the end of the exercise, they realize the only thing that's they're showing up different is them. And the idea that just me, no gear, my personality, who I am, my smile, my way of being, my vibe is enough, is a hard thing for people to wrap their brain around.
Yeah,
really, really is. Because anybody that hires me, trust me, they're hiring me for that. Because they can find everything I do, another DJ can claim to do at way less than 1/10 of what I charge. So they're not looking at that. They want to know that the guy they've hired will care as much about their event as they do, and their personality is exactly the cool personality they want. They're paying for the uniqueness of the personality, the way you are, who you are, how you are, what you're willing to do.
Yes, all those good things. Bill has dropped some serious nuggets on us this evening. I guess Minnesota must have a slow internet up there.
I'm really sorry about this, guys.
No,
you're fine.
Good. I mean,
fine.
But it's all good. I mean, you dropped some knowledge on us this evening.
And it's a great, you've touched on so many great points, Bill, and you have kicked in so many doors.
Yeah.
Because, we have this idea, this idea that we have built that's a DJ. We have this look that we have built that says that you're a DJ. And even though there are no standards, we've created standards in our minds that this is what a DJ is. And what you have shared with us this evening is a different perspective that could, even though you're successful, but you could be more successful. You can take your show to a whole nother level. You can actually learn how to be comfortable with being yourself and being unique and learn how to take control of a room when you've already been sit in the driver's seat, but we don't drive.
Well, here's another way to look at it. I heard you say we've defined what a DJ is. I don't know that that's true. I think that somebody else has defined what a DJ is, and we've agreed.
I agree.
Wow.
I like that.
Yeah, that's the word right there. And
if you want to be unique, then why are we showing up? Why people think they know what a DJ is, and guess what? They're right. That's why my kid can be a DJ tomorrow. Okay. There are things you can buy that say, when you buy this, you're a DJ. I can go on Amazon and say, type in buy DJ stuff, and look, all that stuff that's going to show up that says I'm a DJ. Okay. You can do that. And the thing is that people do, and they're making money because they're showing up the way people go looking for a DJ. Now, you don't want to be that anymore. Then you've got to define who you are and what you provide. You're going to use the tools of a DJ, good for you. But if you're going to define yourself around the tools of a DJ, then you're not going to look very unique.
Wow. Man.
Because we all use the same stuff, man.
Yeah, we do.
Listen to how we talk to each other. Guys come up to me and says, "Oh, what kind of speakers do you use?" Why do you care? My clients don't. What kind of microphone do you use? Why do you care? My clients don't. My DJ friends do, but they never paid. They say, "Well, what kind of software you use?" Why do you care? Because none of my clients give a crap. Do you use a trailer? Why do you care? None of my clients have ever asked that question. They don't care. They care that when they're going to get what they want. And trust me, they don't want to hire a DJ. They have to hire a DJ. What do they really want? They want someone who will make them a party. Can you make them a party without DJ gear? Ask yourself that.
Wow.
And if all you can do is with DJ gear, great. But why does your client need to hear, "I can, but I have to bring this gear"? How come you just can't say, "I can"? And if they say how, don't define the gear, because they don't know what you're talking about. Wow. How are you going to do it if you didn't have the gear? The gear just makes us louder. Right? If I got 5,000 people, I need equipment to sound louder so I can all affect everybody at the same time. If I can do it without the gear, trust me, I can. And I have, and I've charged the same amount of money, and I haven't brought any gear. You can do the same thing. We just, for some reason, we believe the definition that was fed us of what a DJ is. And now we need to educate the client about the fact that we're going to have this really professional equipment and really good gear. I'm going to wear a $1,000 tuxedo and a really nice suit, and I'm going to look dapper and cool. And okay. Yeah, duh. If you have to do that to be as good as you got to be, then do that stuff. But the client don't care.
So let me ask you this question, Bill. What made you write this article? Was this something on your soul, your mind, or you just said, I want to put this out there to the masses? Or
this has been on I've been writing articles like this for very long. I wrote for Mobile Bee Magazine. I've written for John Young at Disc Jockey News 4 years. When I saw Mark Farrell, I started my own movement here, and I brought him to town to help to bring this idea to them with Mark. I started an association. I wrote articles with that. I've done lots of speeches in every conference that's out there. I've spoken at, except for the brand new ones. Then I think there's like 2 brand new ones, and they've asked. I just haven't had time to do it yet. I've been overseas to England and Australia and Canada to do the same. This article is a different way of saying what I've been saying for years, and I'm not the only one that says it. But there's very few of us that really understand it. To at least from, well, they communicate it the same way I do. Because I say things like, well, your client isn't buying your gear. Well, then I hear a million DJs saying, well, your client isn't buying your gear. And those same DJs are talking about their gear. Okay, so then you didn't really hear it, or it didn't really matter to you, or they're just repeating what they say, which very much like the political rhetoric. When you don't really know what you're talking about with politics, you just find a thing that sounded good on TV and you repeat that crap. I mean, that happens with this too. So hopefully what happens is someone takes a second, takes a breath, and thinks to themselves, I don't know anything. So I'm going to talk to somebody about something that I don't understand to see if there's something there. not because I think I know better than anybody else, but I have found a path that feeds me in a way that when somebody doesn't hire me, I don't go, damn it, I should have bought those new uplights. No, they didn't hire me because they didn't connect with me as a human being. They didn't believe me when I said that I will do anything for them, or they didn't like the fact that I'm heavy, or they don't like the fact that I look old, or that I get.
Yeah,
but none of them are looking at me going, man, he uses a virtual DJ. What a loser. Those conversations online are just that. Excuse my, I call that, mental masturbation. Really, it's like, oh, you're a real DJ if you don't use this program. Yeah, okay, but I know a guy who's way better than almost anybody I've ever seen that still uses 2 computers and 2 copies of Winamp. Okay, he rocks. He rocks as a DJ. Nobody cares.
No, they don't, because they don't even know. Because you could bring them back there. All they want to think is that you wiggy. That's about it.
They don't care. They don't even care if we wiggy. Trust me, I haven't wiggy in years. Not one client has said to me, "How come you don't scratch?" Not one. And man, I used to be good at that shit. Excuse my language, but I was. Yeah. I loved it. I know if I do it now and they look at me like, "What are you doing?" Okay.
Wiggy. Yeah.
I need a room full of DJs. Sorry, it's wiki, but not wiggy.
Well, that's what people been saying to me lately. Can you wiggy?
No, wow. Who are your clients? If they say wiggy.
Well, that's what they've been saying. But man, we have appreciated. So can you tell all of our clients all of our guests, I'm sorry, listen to me, come on clients, all of our audience, where they can find out about you, learn about the experiment and all that stuff, the classes you offer. Isn't that what it's called?
No, I'm never going to get you in my class if you don't know what it's called. If you can't even remember what it's called, how am I going to get you in my class?
Well, that's why I'm asking you to introduce it. Come on, Bill.
Yeah. All right, no, I'm just picking on you. All right, so you want to learn about me? You can Google me and even get my home phone number. That's how hard it is to do it. My home phone number is out there, so that's easy. You can feed BillHermann.com is the website I use for my wedding clients, the people looking to hire me. Okay, the entertainment experience is my workshop. I do it once or twice a year, usually at least once, and it's always in November. The next one is November 18th and 19th. I do it here in Minneapolis at the Electro Voice World Headquarters. So you get to see the R&D department of the Electro Voice speaker and microphone company. It's very, very cool, and I like it, and they're one of my biggest supporters. And that's November 18th and 19th, and there are probably about 6 more seats available. If anybody wants to know more, they just reach out to me. You can do that through the website, which is entertainment-experience.com. They can find me on Facebook, Facebook/Bill Hermann, or Facebook/Bill Hermann Entertainment, or Facebook/Entertainment Experience. I got YouTube for Entertainment Experience, which has my podcast, which is not nearly as popular as you guys is, and I've been doing it for way longer than you, and I think you guys have some deal with the devil or something to get more people to listen than me, but whatever, dude. I got to get your people working for me.
Well, you're looking at them. There's no other people. But no, we just try to relate to our audience and bring real topics to the table like you do too. But it's just
you.
Yeah, we just try to bring real topics to the table and talk about it and hit on things sometimes that people won't touch on. And I mean, just to be honest and just open and have open dialogue and we'll send anybody a link who wants to jump on and talk about it. We don't care. We just want.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I'm not hard to find.
And also,
all the things. I got LinkedIn, I got Instagram, I got Facebook, I got all that stuff. But you can call me. I like it when people call or text me. And I can tell you right now, 612-327-5919. But you can find that right now on my website.
Yeah. Bill, one more thing. What about your daily walk conversation?
Oh, jeez.
Okay. You haven't given it up, have you?
No, sir.
Okay, well, don't say that then.
What day are you at?
2028.
Straight days of walking and having a conversation live on Facebook.
Yeah, well, that started after a conference 5.5 years ago. I was in Vegas. I saw my friend Alan Marshall, who is a guy you ought to have on your show. He
We've
lives
been
in
trying.
England.
We've been laboring to get him.
Yeah, well, he's a good guy, and he and I have been friends for a long time. And when I saw him that year, he had dropped about 80 pounds. What the hell did you do? He said, well, I've been walking every day, mate, which I'm sure that sounds exactly like him. Trust me, I got him down. And he goes, yeah, I walk every single day, about 2.5 miles. And I said, well, that can't be hard. He says, well, I'm going to go every day while I'm here in Vegas. I said, okay, well, I'll go with you. So we were there for about 6 days, and we stayed in a different hotel. So we walked every morning, through that casino and another casino. So it was a little, but 3 miles a day there and back, because you know how it is in Vegas. You can't get anywhere and not walk 1.5 miles. So we're in full suits, right? Walking. We'd get to the conference and he'd be fresh as a daisy. And I got sweat moving through my shirt and outside of my suit. I'm so sweaty and over. It's awful. And 5 days of that. And I was real cocky. And I said, well, too bad we're not going to see each other. You're going to be in England. I'll be in Minnesota. We're not going to be able to walk together. He says, well, we could always, send us each other. You send me a note when you're doing it, and I'll send you a note when I'm doing it. We'll just, okay. Well, I got back, and the first day I got back, I got up in the morning and went, I'll go for my walk. And I'm about, 10, 15 minutes into my walk. And he said, when you do this, you should do like 10 minutes a day for like 10 days, and then go 20 and then go 30. Well, as I'm walking, I get on Facebook Messenger, and I put a button and I put my camera up to do a little video for him. And I go, hey, Alan, how you doing, man? Look at me, man. I'm doing my walk. I don't know if you're doing your walk, but I told you I would. I don't know about you, but you're not going to do it, I'm sure. But I'm going to walk. And here I am. Ha, dee, die. Look at me. I'm doing 30 minutes. I'm starting at 30 minutes. I don't care what you say. La, la, la. And I'm laughing and making fun of him. And I said, and I don't know about you too, but I'll do this all week. I'll do this every day. I said, I know you said like 3 times a week, but I'm going to do every day. I'll do every day for the next week. Well, 2 weeks. I'll do at least 2 weeks. 2 weeks, nothing, man. I can do a month. And I'm just talking smack to him on the video. And by the time I was done, I said, 365 days in a row, I'm doing this. I don't know about you, but I got you beat, you limey bastard. And I just took the phone, I turned it off, put it in my pocket, and I kept on walking. And about 30 seconds later, my phone went bling, 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 bling. Bling, 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 bling. I picked up my phone. Like, what the hell's going on? Well, it's blowing up. Why? Because I hadn't Facebook videoed my friend. I went Facebook Live. And I had 5,000 people who saw that, who were going, that's so great, Bill. Good for you. We're behind you. You can do it. Well, I had no intention of walking more than 2 or 3 days. I was just making fun of my friend. Yeah. Well, 365 days came, and the next day he started walking too and doing the video. So now I had to do another one. He was doing it every day I did it. He was doing it. Well, 365 days later, I'm like, okay, we made it. 365 days. That's great. And then he did 366, and I went, so now it's whoever quits first loses, and we're at 5.5 years later, 2,028 days.
Wow, that is so incredible, man. Hey. But one of the great industry gates, y'all. 2,058 days, right?
28.
Oh, wow.
And in a couple of days, I'll be walking with him in England because I'm getting on a plane tomorrow. Yeah. And I'm going to England to that conference that you guys aren't going to, but I'm going to be there. And then I'm doing a workshop there. And I'm spending time with Alan and his wife, who are going through some tough times right now. Oh, and come back in about 10 days. So it'll be really nice.
Wow. Well, don't rub it in. We wish we were going, but things happen for a reason. But hey, we'll have the show over there next year. And Peter and Stephen. Make sure tell them, hey, if we have to get on in the middle of the night to get some stuff they got coming out, we'll get up in the middle of the night to get on with them.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
but we want to thank you, Bill. It's always an honor. You're one of my favorites, so I enjoy speaking with you. It's always great. And
I think I've kept it under 2 hours, haven't I, Jay?
Yeah. Well, the only reason we're stopping this time, I got a meeting. Other than that,
Wow.
Other than that,
Wow.
I got Instillent for him so we can pour it down his throat and keep him alive.
Oh man. No, I'm good.
No, that day I never seen a grown man cry.
Oh my God. It was so fun.
We got
You were begging.
It was if you go back and look at the video, man, you can see me looking over at Mike every once in a while. Every time we see you go, but, and then I'll bring up another subject, and I see Jay go, bah. Then it became a game. It's like, how long can we keep him going?
I'm gonna go watch that video again. Terrible.
I'm telling you cried.
No, I did.
You just don't remember. You cried.
I probably did. I might have passed out and woke back up. But
now I knew there was one point I knew that he was going to try to knock my ass out. That's for sure.
But hey, thank you, Bill. We're gonna let you go. Mike has a meeting, and as always, man, you inspire, you ignite, brother. You carry the flame, you carry the torch, and we really appreciate everything you do for the industry. And I am going to make it to the experiment.
Bill, you should have acted like you were in the Matrix.
You know what? I'm gonna if you come in November, I'll change the name to the experiment.
No, I know it's the experience. I'm sorry. I'm just kidding. But all right, we can laugh and joke all the way out the door for 2 hours, but we're gonna get on out of here.
All right. You have a good one, and tell the family we said hi.
Thank
Bill.
you.
And same here. I love you guys.
Get up there. Love you back, brother.
All right.